guys, welcome back to the 3 a.m. Vanguard channel, and this is the start of our new arc. Get hype. We're doing the quick start decks. So I'm going to be doing every single quick start deck in the game and have their most recent support, try to build the decks as best as I can. And the first one that we're starting off with is Triumph Dragon. And if you don't know what the quick start decks are, they're pretty much the decks that you get at the beginning of the game. You can upgrade them and try to make them beat the meta. And so the first one is Triumph Dragon. Triumph Dragon, don't let the name confuse you. It will not triumph. This Vanguard sucks. Okay, it is probably the worst one out of the quick start decks, and that's why we're doing this one first, because playing these games is so frustrating, and I don't want to do it anymore. So we are going to go into the deck profile. So this is my Triumph Dragon deck. I tried to build it as best as I can. I'm not sure if this is a correct build or a good build even, but it's kind of like mid-range. It doesn't do too much offense, doesn't have too much defense. It sits there at the middle, but it's probably better to go with a more aggro turn 1, turn 2 type of board. Just kill your opponent early. Go as fast as you can with this deck, because this deck has no grind game, and you'll see that in the matches or in the match that the grind game is really bad with this deck. So here's our Vanguard, Roaring Thunder Dragon, Triumph Dragon. And the thing with the quick start decks, all of the Vanguards have the same starting ability. So they all have this ability. Search your deck for up to one card with a card name as this unit, reveal it, put it into your hand, shuffle the deck, and this unit gets plus 10k. So basically that says search for Persona Ride. The Vanguard itself can get Persona Ride, so you never have to worry about it. And you'll always have access to it as long as you have a Counterblast 1. So that's a really cheap ability. And even if you don't have any more Thunder Dragons in the deck, you can still get that plus 10k. So Counterblast 1 for plus 10k, that's 23k on your first grade 3 turn. That's pretty good. And here is its spicy ability. This unit attacks a Vanguard, Energy Blast 4, choose one of your opponent's rear guards, retire it, and this unit gets plus 5k and a crit. So it's a Vanguard that gains a crit inherently. That's supposed to be strong, and it retires. That reads pretty strong, but the rest of the support does not help this guy out in any way whatsoever. So let's go to the grade 2. I'm playing the grade 2 of the ride line, the Roaring Thunder Beast, Kitsuraza, or whatever. It's a lion, whatever. When this unit is rode upon by grade 3 Triumph Dragon and its card name, you may call this card to the reverse circle. If you did not call a card, Energy Blast 3. So basically we're just using it for the calling out itself, being able to build a board and not use cards in my hand to build a board and keep those cards to shield. And if it has a grade 3 or greater with Triumph Dragon, it gains plus 10 shield. So if I intercept with it, plus 15k shield. I wish I can get this back. Maybe I should be playing more of it, but it's just really weak. It doesn't gain any power, only shield. So, but it's the best grade 2 that we have so far for Triumph Dragon. For our grade 1, I'm playing Rising Star Virgilla. It can change depending on what you want, but I found that the Triumph Dragon original ride line would just fuck you up when you try to go into the later games because of that Energy Blast 2 that you use for the draw. Your Triumph Dragon won't have enough energy to last, you know what I mean? So Virgilla is just good, just save a card in your hand, Soul Blast, ride up is whatever. And then Surprise Egg, or Sunrise Egg. I like calling it Surprise Egg because it's surprise like what you're playing. Your opponent is really not gonna know from the ride line. They're gonna be like, what the fuck is that? And then they're like, oh yeah, you're playing a terrible deck, I win. So a lot of these cards you guys should be familiar with. They're cards that I've played on this channel before, like Forward and Revert This, and Callahan, the guy, the Soul Blast guy. He's like an energy cycler, but he just uses soul instead. And then Shinri. Familiar cards for you guys, but here is a new card. It's Strafe Command Dragon. This is pretty much our Thunder Dragon's main guy, alright? They're doing that Marvel handshake right now. That's them. So when this unit is placed on rearguard circle, from hand, if your Vanguard is Triumph Dragon, counterblast 1, draw a card, counterblast 1, draw a card. That's never bad. But this deck does have issues with counterblast. We're using a lot of cards that counterblast and not a lot of cards that countercharge. So it conflicts a lot. So a lot of the time you don't end up even using this. But it has another ability which is really good. When this unit attacks, Soul Blast 1, until the end of this battle, this unit gets plus 5k. And if a grade 3 or greater card with Triumph Dragon and its card name was Soul Blasted for this cost, it gets a critical. So it's a rear guard that gets a critical, right? That's really strong, or reads really strong. How do you utilize it more than once? You don't. This is a 3-attack deck at its core, at its most optimal. It can't get more than 3 attacks, and that just sucks. Because you want to use this rear guard multiple times because it gets the plus 5k and it gets the crit, but can't, you know what I mean? It just does it the once. And it's easy to guard too because it only gains plus 5k, so on your non-persona turn it's only going to be 18k, which is super easy to guard if you don't finish with it. But it does gain the crit, so there you go. It gains a crit along with the Triumph Dragon. So 3 swings, but 2 swings are going to be criticals. But this can only really do it on your Persona Ride turn. It's not going to be doing it on your first turn because it has to Soul Blast the Triumph Dragon. And this is also our other piece of Triumph Dragon support that we're playing. And in the drop, when you call a Triumph Dragon, if you don't have another card with its name, Soul Blast 1, call it. That's really great. And then when it boosts a Strafe Command Dragon, you just put it into the soul and countercharge 1. So this is our way of countercharging in the deck, which is really, really needed because we use a lot of counterblast. And then this just allows us, when it's placed, to put a Strafe Command Dragon from the drop back into the deck, just so we can recycle them and reuse our Persona Rides and never run out of Persona Rides. But I'm only playing 1 because I want to play this cat as well. And this cat can just put 2 cards from my ride deck back into the ride deck, put 2 cards from my drop back into the ride deck, and gain 15 plus shield, so that's 20k shield. It's letting me survive a bit longer. And that's pretty much the deck. It's a simple deck. We're playing the Dragon Overtrigger of 4 criticals, and we're just trying to kill early, right? We're trying to kill our opponent early, do as much damage as possible in the early game, and finish off with that critical attack. But like I said, this deck is stuck at 3 attacks, and if your deck is not doing a critical 4 to 5 attacks every turn and triple driving, it just sucks. This deck can only do the critical part, so it was a tough ride with this one. We'll see. All right, so this fight was a pretty interesting fight. Let me tell you, I was playing this deck for like 4 hours, okay, and this is probably the best fight that I had, and it was not good. Not one bit of it was enjoyable playing this deck. I'm not gonna lie, because every deck, like I said, can do multiple attacks, gain a crit, and retire. Like, can do everything that your deck can do, but 10 times better. So nothing really happens in these early turns. My hand is okay. Excuse me. So I'm just gonna skip to the grade 3 turn. If you don't go first, you're gonna be at a real disadvantage. Luckily, I went first in this game, so you'll see what Triumph Dragon can do on your opponent's grade 2. And that's when it feels the strongest, and it feels like it's actually bullying your opponent with that critical that you're crushing. You guys will see it. Have him attack. So he kind of rushed me down, but we're able to fend it off. We got an overtrigger. So our overtrigger's out the game, but we're able to fend off that attack, and now we ride on to our Triumph Dragon. And we're going to use our Soul Cycler, be able to draw a card, and we have 3 cards of Soul, and we're going to be able to call the Tiger and Soul Blast another card to call it out the Golem. So we're building our board just from cards from our drop and our Soul. Haven't even used any cards from our hand yet, and we drew a card. We have a lot of triggers in hand, but that's all right. That's going to be good defense. And we have 2 Triumph Dragons here, which is not good for us. We want to search out those Triumph Dragons with the ability to kind of filter out the deck and not have so many shieldless cards in our hand and have more chances to pull triggers. So right now, our attacks are looking pretty weak. I don't want to call out any Triumph Dragons. I just want to use them for my Persona Ride to keep on having that pressure every turn. So we just go with the 2 attacks. And look, like all of the quick start decks, I'm pretty sure they give power to their rear guards. This one doesn't give power to the rear guard. Like it's a Vanguard centric deck, like through, but the Vanguard can't restand. Like it's so weird. Like if the Vanguard had something that allowed it to restand or gain more power than it should, this deck would be a lot better. So with a heal trigger, we pop 2 triggers and we're at 0 damage, so we're going good, but we can only hit them with 1 more attack or 1 more damage, which is unfortunate because we did a whole crit and everything. And we're doing this whole big ass column for just 1 easy damage. Feels bad. It honestly feels bad. So he goes through his grade 3 turn, and he's playing Zorga, Divine Skill Zorga, and then lots of orders. The deck was pretty interesting, not gonna lie. It put up a really Triumph Dragon put up a really good fight against it. A better fight than I thought it was gonna be. Like if this deck had like the core support or just the core support, it allows it to stand all the here. But it doesn't have that, so it's just kind of bad, you know what I mean? It's just kind of bad, but that's okay. The rest of the quick start decks, don't expect these decks to be super good because there are starter decks. They're meant to be just like average at best, but they have really cool mechanics, and a lot of them can do really cool things beyond what they were originally used to. So I'm excited for you guys to see that. So he goes and he calls out the heal trigger, and he uses the buzz, he Alchemagics, and that's being able to use 2 orders at the same time. He uses the regular piece and the buzz at the same time. His columns are getting super huge. Calls out this guy. He's gonna get a crit. Like damn, like this is going crazy. And he could have restood any of these columns this turn. He decided not to do that this turn, but like I said, like it's getting a crit and it's restanding. My Vanguard just needed the crit. And that crit was so easy to gain. All he had to do was come out from the drop zone. So now he's coming at me with like Persona Ride numbers, okay, without even using Persona Ride. I just take the attack because I have to have some damage in order to use the straight Command Dragon for the draw when I get that, or to use his ability again to search out of another Persona Ride or gain 10,000 power. So I need about 2 damage this turn. I don't want to take the crit. I know that. And the Vanguard swing is just hella huge, but I think we go for a win to pass here because we have a lot of guard in our hand, so why not guard it? But this is, I don't know. I didn't want to go to a ridiculous amount of damage. So, we go to 2 to pass. And of course, he gets the right. Damn! Does he get another 20? Does he get another one? Okay, no, he's not that good. Alright, he's not that good. He's pretty good, but he's not that good. So, that's coming in with 25k, which is easy for us to guard. Just guard that with a crit or whatever. And he's thinking about whether he's going to attack the rear or attack the Vanguard. Now, honestly, I should have took it just to get more counterblast in, but I didn't need to. I didn't have my straight Command Dragon yet, and this is see all the Triumph Dragons in my hand. Like that's cards with no shield, like cards that actually being out the deck. And then I draw another trigger. Like this game was damn. I even got me checking triggers. I was like, fuck, like how triggers are about to drop. But it's good. It's good defense. So it allows me to keep in the game. You gotta have a good mindset. You know what I mean? Like turn your negatives into positives, and your life will be free. So here's a negative. We don't get a Triumph Dragon up in deck because we have them all in our hand already, which is bad. And this is like a Blaze Maiden. Like I wanted to go to live like a Blaze Maiden build and maybe use Marina and do that, but I was like, nah, that's That's probably gonna be too fun. Like that's probably gonna be too. I just get rid of the token because maybe he can't generate another to use buds again. But this is the one Blaze Maiden we are playing in the deck, and on when it gets placed, you Soul Blast when it gets 10k. So on the Persona Ride turn, which we're always going to be Persona Riding, it's probably always going to be 10k. So that's why I played it. And we play a lot of Soul, like Order of Riches gains Soul, the Shinri goes into the Soul, the Gold goes into the Soul, and it moves the straight command. So we're playing a lot of Soul-based effects. So we're gonna accumulate soul at some point, and we're always Persona Riding, so we're always gonna have that bit of soul or whatever we need. So we go in with 3k attack. Like this is a really huge attack, 2 guard, and then the next is gonna be a critical. So let's see what they do. Do they decide to stay at 2 damage, or do they go to 4? I would like it if they went to 4, to be honest. So guards it, decides to stay at 2 damage. But damn, if the tiger could gain some attack, wouldn't that be cool? Wouldn't that be cool if the tiger could gain some attack, like just by being in Persona Ride or by being next to Triumph Dragon? But I don't know. I'm not Mr. Bushiroad, so I don't release these cards. So if Persona Rides on me, and I for sure know that he's gonna pop his divine skill at this point. He can bring back 2 things from his drop zone. What does he decide to bring back? I'm looking at my triggers. I'm like, am I gonna survive this turn? I'm gonna survive. I'm only at 1 damage. What's the worst thing you do? Like gain 2 criticals on his rear guards? Like, like of course his deck couldn't do that. Something ridiculous like that. Anyway, so he does another Alpha Magic. So cool, man. It's so cool. I'm afraid to play this deck because I feel like if I touch the deck, I'll just draw all the orders and none of the units and just be trashed all the time. So this is coming back from the drop with a crit. Oh my god, I'm getting crit like every turn. He's doing Triumph Dragon stuff. It's not fair. It is not fair. He doesn't even have the Soul Blast, his own name. Like, what is this? Anyway, so he comes at me with the critical, and I'm thinking I gotta guard this. If I guard anything, it's gonna be this. And this, like, remember, the cat gets a large shield. It's 15k, so it can guard things like that, and it surprises your opponent. And you know what? If there was some mechanism to, I'm gonna stop with you. When this Triumph Dragon triumphs, okay? Triumph Dragon will triumph. So it comes at me with a 57k column. But it's only 1 damage, so I decided to take it. We need the counter blast anyway for other things. Hopefully we draw into our straight command to get that double crit pressure like he's doing. And he comes in, does he divine skill? We haven't seen that in a while. Ooh, a whole column stands. That's a crazy ability. And he's coming in with 38k. That gains another 10k. So we'll guard this and then take the other. Yeah, this is we're hoping for no triggers. Ooh, gets a crit. He gets a crit, and then let's see if he brings it to the side. That'll be good for us because we can just PG it if we have any more PGs. And he puts the power to the Vanguard. Let's see if he's a protagonist. He's a protagonist, bro. I think I got out pro-tagged. He's good. He's good at this game. So let's see if I'm good at this game and he kills. Oh, crit, but that's good. We get the defensive, make things easier to guard. But damn, that was tough. Him blowing past my guard like that, and now his whole row is critical. Look at that. That's and I have to perfect guard it. I have to. I have no choice. That's the only perfect guard in my hand. And so now we're on the back foot. That one turn, in one turn, he turned the whole game around. And that is the power of decks that can do more than 3 attacks. They can gain crit pressure, they can withstand, they can alpha magic. Like Triumph Dragon just doesn't do enough. And I think that is apparent. So do Persona Ride. Persona Ride all day, every day. We still have one more in our hand. So as long as we have that, we probably win. And we go to our straight command dragon. So that is good for us with the golem free, with the golem column free. For us to just freely put them in and have that critical. We're gonna put a straight command dragon from our drop into the deck, just so we can have it for next turn, and then we're gonna put it back into the right deck. That was a bad decision. I probably should have paid more attention to that because I wanted to put one into the deck so I could have it for next turn or keep on Persona writing. So this gains 2k, and now we do our double critical play, and we can actually draw a card. Right, we haven't been using a lot of counter blast this turn. We're using one counter blast for the Triumph Dragon, and the columns get pretty beefy. And I should have called the Blaze Maiden. The Blaze Maiden would have been good, but I only had one soul. If I had another piece of soul, and I drew the Command Dragon earlier, then that would have been better. But I wanted to use the Triumph Dragon for the extra criticals. Now we're gonna crit, and he's in danger of losing these games. But now he guards. He's getting more than that. Let's see. Can we do it? We break through. Okay, we're the pro tag. We're pro tagging him back. Triumph Dragon will triumph. Everything I've said about this deck has been a complete lie. I changed my opinion. The deck is probably the best of the quick start. It's probably the best deck in the meta right now. You should invest in Triumph Dragon. Look, it's not a scam. Triumph Dragon coin is not a scam. And now our Command Dragon is gonna gain 5k with a beefy 31k column like on Persona Ride. It's pretty good. Alright, it's pretty good. But he just PG it. He has 4 cards in his hand. He's off 4 damage. And he just guards it. And like if it could gain any extra attack, any bit of extra attack more than that, my goodness, it would be so much better because 2 PGs, yeah, you can just guard it. And it's easy. It's an easy guard too. Like more than 5k, it's like the grade 1 that boost stick and you give it some power, like dish it out a little bit. Like, maybe I'm just building the deck wrong. And I could build it towards power and aggression. So maybe that's a fault on me. It probably isn't. It's more of a fault on me. Build the deck towards aggression. That's what I would recommend is the best. And overpowering your opponent as soon as possible. So that's where I made a mistake in my deck building choices because I decided to go more mid-range and not more aggro. But the more aggro build definitely suits this deck better than what I was playing. So he's going to call out 2 guys again. He only has 2 cards in hand, but he's Alchemagicking. And then, wow, damn, that went to 5 cards in hand real quick. That was crazy. And he brought this back from the drop zone. That's going to get critical. And 1,000 power, like, he's going crazy. But he can't restand. So he's stuck like me at 3 attacks. But I don't have any PGs. I have the Frenzy Roar though. And I have the Blaze Maiden. And that's pretty much it. This is a very grade 3 centric deck. We are going to have a lot of grade 3s in our hand. Triumph Dragons, drawing all those Triumph Dragons was very unfortunate. Drawing the 3 Command Dragons were unfortunate. But you know what? That's my deck. That's the deck that we built. I'm proud of it. We will triumph for the reward. Crits all around. That's 35k and a crit. He didn't even Persona Ride, bro. This is not even with Persona Ride power. So this is going crazy. I can guard this with that and Defensive Roar. And then try my best. Try as I might. Maybe I can check a heal trigger, right? and make it easier to guard because I add back the heal for defense. This is, I didn't expect it to just blast me out the ass like that. Like it just gained so much power out of nowhere. And all of a sudden I can't guard it. I'm just hoping for a chance in heaven that I can check a trigger and I can maybe guard the last one. The last one is the only one that threatening me. If I can make it through this turn, we win. That's it. It's final turn. I'm final turning it. I've never final turned on this channel before. It's a real final turn. So we're deciding what to guard with. And the decision is tough. Like, should we guard, should we not guard? How many triggers has he checked? There's a lot to go into it. We decide, you know what, we'll break Vanguard mid. We're done. It's over. The game is over. I cannot guard. Okay, let's see if we check. I can't. The game's over. The game's over. Triumph Dragon sucks. Like I said before, Triumph Dragon is the worst deck. Yeah, I've ever played. No, I'm just joking. Triumph Dragon, it was fun. Okay, it was a fun experience. But can we heal? Look, let's go heal. We ended up taking the L. But that was a good game for my opponent. Played Zorga really well. Nice deck. And as you saw, Triumph Dragon has really good pushes. And it has really good moments where it feels powerful and you're doing a lot. But after that third attack, you kind of just feel bad because you know your opponent's going to come at you like 4 or 5 attacks, maybe 2 criticals on each side, and some crazy shit that you just cannot possibly pull off with Triumph Dragon. So, like I said, it was a deck and a half, and I did make a lot of mistakes, deck building mistakes. I should have made it a more aggro build rather than a mid build. So maybe I'll give it another try in the future, but for right now, I'm gonna wait for new support. And remember to comment, like, and subscribe. That has been 3 AM Vanguard, and I'll see you guys later.